light this candle to welcome all people.
Greetings and welcome to this virtual Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Waynesboro for February 20th, 2022. I'm Tom Engel. I've been a member of the fellowship for around 3 years, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you to this service. I'm assisted in this pleasurable task by my grandson Keller, who is about 1.5. We're coming to you today from Keller's home in Ymca, Colorado, which at an elevation of 10,500 feet claims to be the highest incorporated town in America. This claim may be true, but probably also generates a good bit of Colorado-type humor. Happily, as Reverend Paul has announced, we will return to in-person Sunday services next week, February 27th at 10:30 at the Fellowship on Pine Street. I hope any non-members watching this video will consider attending that service to get to know us better. That's right. Keller and I would like to emphasize that all are welcome to this service. Now here are some words of welcome that elaborate on that message from Meg Barnhouse, Senior Minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin, Texas. We gather to worship, our hearts alive with hope, that here we will be truly seen, that here we will be welcomed into the garden of this community, where the simple and the elegant, the fluted and frilled, the shy and the dramatic complement one another and are treasured. May we know that here, each contributes in their way to the beauty of the whole. Come, let us worship together. All genders, sexualities, politics, clappers and non-clappers. Clap. Progressive or conservative, may we root ourselves in the values of this faith: compassion and courage, transcendence, justice, and transformation. Each contributes in their way to the beauty of the whole. What a lovely thought and an inspiration for us all to strive toward. And may we root ourselves in the values of this faith: compassion and courage, transcendence, justice, and transformation. Strong, hopeful, and challenging words to reflect on during this service and to motivate us in our daily lives. Okay, be still. Now, as we prepare to light the chalice for today's service, I invite you to think of that little flame as what Sean Trapp has called, quote, a fire in the universe, and to reflect on the world that we're leaving for Keller and his generation. Our chalice reminds us that the fire within ourselves is the same fire that illuminates the universe. It is our reminder that all is connected, even though the space of the void is vast, and our experience here is but a blip in the cosmic timeline. This flame is our promise that in our smallness and our short time on this earth, that we live intently and deeply, with love for one another, with honesty and integrity, to be guided by rational thought and critical thinking, and with a sense of shared responsibility. Or as the late astronomer Carl Sagan reminded us, this pale blue dot is the only home we've ever known. Okay, want to say goodbye? Bye, everybody. Welcome.
Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are.
Come, come, whoever you are.
Come, come, whoever you are.
Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are. Wander, worshiper, whoever you are. Wander, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are. Wander, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are. Wander, worshiper, leaver of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come yet again, come.
Hello, I'm Sylvia Woodworth, a member of this congregation and the religious education team. Today we're going to learn more about a privilege we currently have of welcoming people from Afghanistan to our area. A spirit of welcome has always been an important part of our congregational life. It's usually the first word as we open our service. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Waynesboro. Last week's opening words included, "So welcome into this space of justice, compassion, fellowship, and worship." As we go about our day, our week, our year, we carry the spirit of welcome with us along with our 8 principles. The ones that are coming to the fore to me at the moment are that we affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, along with the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Our congregation has enthusiastically embraced an opportunity to extend our welcome beyond our 4 walls and into our communities by deciding to sponsor refugees from Afghanistan. So far, we've formed our home team of 8 members, had 2 orientation sessions, and are awaiting approval through our background checks. We want to do this well, so today we have invited Melissa Drumheller of Waynesboro to our service. Welcome, Melissa.
Thanks, Sylvia.
You are an amazing volunteer, not an employee, with the International Rescue Committee of Charlottesville. And I think from now on we'll probably be saying IRC for that. She is the leader of the home team of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Waynesboro, which has been working closely with the Springdale Mennonite Church in Augusta County. They have already settled 2 families, is that right?
Yes.
And mentored others in a great spirit of cooperation and collaboration. Melissa has kindly agreed to share what she and they have learned through personal experience, which will be a great help to us here at UUFW as we embark on this journey. I've got some questions here that I've sort of been collected, things that our members have been wondering about. So I hope you'll help us out with this, but I wonder if you first sort of refresh our memories about the sequence of events that has brought Afghan refugees to our area.
Right, so there was an evacuation of U.S. armed forces from Afghanistan in August of 2021. And so people who had worked for the United States government and armed forces were evacuated out of Afghanistan, and they all went to another European or Middle Eastern country for a couple of days, and then were transferred to military bases in America to await processing to verify they were who they said they were, and then they were sent on to resettlement agencies. So IRC is our area's resettlement agency.
Okay. And can we expect more refugees to be coming into the area in the future, do you think?
I'm told by the IRC and my Afghan friends that there's thousands more Afghans still in military bases waiting to be assigned resettlement agencies. So I'm told more are coming, but I don't know when.
Okay. Now, I think there were about 26 people in the hotel in Waynesboro at the beginning, and are they all still there, or if they've left, where have they gone?
Yeah, so first we had about 26 people. One family moved to Harrisonburg. A family and a single man moved to Charlottesville. And now we've settled 2 families in Waynesboro, and right now, this very moment, we're settling a single man in Waynesboro as well. And there's 2 more single men who have work in Waynesboro that are looking for housing close to their work.
Okay. Very good. And what would you say are the main goals when resettling refugees?
So for finding housing, our main goals were being on a bus line, and now our really big goal is for them to be close to each other. That is what they requested from us in order to be these pioneers willing to start a new Afghan community in Waynesboro, was that we find housing close together. So the 3 we've settled in Waynesboro are an easy walking distance from each other.
Oh, that's great.
So we're hoping it's around kind of the Tree Streets, Berkeley Glen Elementary School area, that we're trying to find them housing.
Okay. And I can see how initially they might have wanted to be in Charlottesville or Harrisonburg because of the mosques there, and also the butchers that would process their meat according to the religious tenets.
But we've converted them. We have to Waynesboro. They are huge fans now. They're trying to convince everyone else to come.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? That would be just wonderful. So, what challenges are you finding that they face?
With housing or in general?
Just in general, having left in such a hurry, under a fear of persecution, having to leave with so few things and coming to this country, what is it like?
So the real difficulties I've witnessed are worry about family members that are still in Afghanistan. None of the people we have in Waynesboro currently have that situation, but some people were very stressed about that. Some of them had never planned on leaving Afghanistan. I've even heard several of them talk about, can I go back? I just want to go back home. But it's also just been kind of stunning to me, the just breadth of change they have to go through. I mean, it's a new culture, of course, a new language, but it's not just a new language, it's a new alphabet.
Oh, right.
They write the opposite way that we do, it's a different calendar, so they struggle to know what their birthdays are, because like a gentleman I was helping, his birthday was in 1392 based on their calendar. So like it's not just the months. The months it's a completely different structure. Their week was structured differently. Friday is their weekend, and just Friday, no other days off. And so to switch to a culture where everybody just works on Friday, and we have this 2-day weekend, all the measurements are different, weight, distance.
It's in kilometers, a metric system.
Yep, they use the metric system. So just everything is completely different. They're used to sitting on the floor, they're used to everything being carpeted, and we're obsessed with wooden floors and our couches. So just everything is different.
Well, it seems that they are getting quite a bit of help from various sources. So where is this help coming from?
Well, their main help is from the IRC, and the federal government funds the IRC, but they're also, part of the process is they apply for federal benefits. So they are getting food stamps and Medicaid, and some of them are getting TANF, which is like welfare for families. The bigger families typically are getting that. And then there's these outside volunteer organizations like our home teams. We've had the Ymca offer time. We've had two different therapist groups offer free services. They come to the Y, Shenandoah Art Therapy and the Arrow Project. I know there's other people have offered things, but they haven't been able to work out yet. But those are their main sources of help.
And it seems that the main goal is for our new neighbors to become self-sufficient,
Yes.
to be secure with their housing and their furnishings, to get a job, to eventually be able to pay all their bills themselves,
Yes.
and to feel comfortable and welcome here.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned that you're on the home team. Would you explain to us a bit about what a congregation's home team does?
Sure. So I can say some of the things we've done.
Okay, great.
We got a home to furnish, so we supplied all the furnishings for it off of the IRC checklist, and we came up with some things that weren't on the list, like pillows weren't on the list. I think that was an oversight. But, a dish drainer, that wasn't on there, but you know, just trying to figure out basic things people would need. And then the main goals to start are jobs. Well, really before you get to jobs, getting the internet, getting the kids enrolled in school were the very first priorities, and opening a bank account and taking a driver's license test, because those are things you can't do until you have a home. You have to be able to prove your address to get to even take the learner's permit test, or to open a bank account.
Or to get a library card.
So getting kids their children enrolled was the very first thing. Actually, the day we moved them into their house, we also took them to the grocery store, to the bank, and to the school.
Wow. What a day.
To get it going.
What a day.
And then we had to work out some shots that the children needed to be able to start school. So that was some working with the health department. Now we've also taken them to the DMV. The father has gotten his learner's permit, and so now some people are doing hours with him in their cars so that I think he has to have 36 hours. We've also found a pediatrician that would take the family and help to fill out medical forms and taking them to the pediatrician. We also provide rides every Friday to the mosque for their holy day. And whenever we do that, we also take them to the halal market so they can try to get meat that follows their guidelines. And we're also just trying to be their friends. So I actually live very close to them, so I go over with my children and they play with their children. And they don't mind our kids running and screaming all over their house. They smile about it, so my kids love going over there. They just want to go over there and chase each other and slam doors. So, but we're really fortunate because our family speaks English. The mom is learning. She has the best English of any female Afghan I've met, so we all are also coordinating English lessons to help improve her English. And all of our visits help her practice her English. And the school-age child is learning at school, but they have a toddler who any interaction with our children is helping his English as well.
Great. And I love it. You told me that after the first night, the 3-year-old, remember what you said?
I texted his dad and said, "How was your first night?" And he said, "Really good. But my son he's not stopped jumping. He's so happy. He's just been jumping all over the house."
So he was jumping with joy.
Yes,
and that's just what we
joy.
want. That's just what we want. Okay, that's great. Well, let's take a little break and then we'll talk a little more about how all of us at our fellowship can be helpful, not just the members of the home team, but what we all can be doing to be welcoming. Okay. Thank you, Melissa.
Wanna see the river of my soul, so I can know where I am going. Wanna see the river of my soul, so I can know where I am going. Gotta rise above that river, so I can see the end and the beginning. Wanna see the river of my soul, so I can know where I am going.
My name is Lydia Pickering, and I'm going to be reading 4 Feet, 2 Sandals. Lena raced barefoot to the camp entrance where relief workers threw used clothing off the back of a truck. Everyone pushed and fought for the best clothes. Lena squatted and reached, grabbing what she could. The crowd began to leave. In the dust at Lena's feet lay a brand new sandal. It was yellow with a blue flower in the middle, and when she slipped it on her foot, it fit perfectly. Lena was 10, but she had not worn shoes for 2 years. She looked around for the matching sandal. A girl stood nearby. She was thinner and darker than Lena, and she wore a blue and yellow sandal. "Assalamu alaikum," Lena greeted her. "Peace be with you." The girl only stared. She was dressed in a shalwar kameez. Her feet were cracked and swollen, as Lena's had been when she first arrived at camp. Suddenly, the girl turned, taking the matching sandal with her. In the morning, Lena went to do the washing, wearing one of the beautiful sandals. She picked her way to the stream, careful to keep the sandal out of the filth. Her old shoes had been ruined for the many miles of walking from Afghanistan to Peshawar, the refugee camp in Pakistan. She had carried her brother Najib, no bigger than a water jug then, but just as heavy. When she looked up from her scrubbing, the girl from yesterday was standing over her. She wore one of the sandals that she bent over and then removed. "Grandma says it's stupid to only wear one." She placed the sandal at Lena's feet, then she turned and walked away. "Wait!" Lena grabbed both sandals and followed her. "I am Lena." The girl turned slowly. "I am Feroza." Lena held out the sandals. "We can share." "What good is one sandal for 2 feet?" Feroza frowned. "You wear them today, and I will wear them tomorrow," Lena smiled. 4 feet, 2 sandals. Feroza smiled too. She took the sandals and put them on. "Tomorrow, they will be yours." The 2 girls greeted each other as they carried their jugs for water the next day. Lena then put on the sandals, and they waited together in a long line. Everyone in the camp was waiting for a new home. Mama went to meetings about being resettled. The girls stayed in Lena's tent with Ymca and Najib. They were careful to keep the sandals away from the 2 boys, for Ymca wanted to pull at the flowers and Najib wanted to chew on them. "My father and sister were killed in the war," Lena told her friend. "Mama and I had to run with Ymca and Najib in the night." Feroza nodded and 2 tears ran down her cheek. "I only have my grandmother now." When they did not have work to do, Lena and Feroza crept up to the windows of the school and peeked inside. The school was small with only enough room for the boys to study. The girls practiced their names in the dirt and brushed the marks away so no one would see their mistakes. Sometimes each girl wore one sandal. Other children pointed and giggled, but Lena and Feroza did not care. In the evenings, the sky turned a deep blue, and the first stars began to sparkle. Lena and Feroza watched for the silver of the crescent moon that signaled the beginning of Ramadan. They shared memories and whispered their dreams for a new home. One morning, they went to the stream and washed their sandals to keep them looking new. "Lena, come quick," Feroza's grandmother called. "Your mother says your name's on the list." Feroza grabbed the sandals. The two girls ran ahead to the office. Lena stood on tiptoes and squinted at the sign. "Mama's name! It's here! We are going to America!" She looked at her friend. "My name's not on there," Feroza said quietly. She looked at her feet as she spoke. Then she bent down and took off the sandals. She handed them to Lena. "You cannot go to barefoot in America." Feroza gave Lena a smile and hugged her. When it was time to leave, the relief workers gave Mama a large square white bag with numbers on it. "All of your important papers are in this bag," he said. Feroza and her grandmother came to say goodbye. Lena pointed at her feet. "Look, Mama saved her new sewing money. She's bought us shoes for America." "Real shoes," Feroza admired the new black leather. "Here," Lena said. "It is your day to wear these." The tears in her eyes were not from the sandals. "Assalamu alaikum," Feroza said as she took the faded yellow and blue sandals. "Peace be with you." Lena followed the others to the bus. "Wait," Feroza called as she ran to her friend. "You must keep one." She handed Lena one sandal. "What good is one sandal?" "It's good to remember." Feroza held up the other sandal. 4 feet, 2 sandals. Lena felt the tears make a trail down her cheek. She slipped the sandal into her bag and climbed on the bus. Feroza ran alongside the bus as it began to move. Lena leaned against the window. "We will share again in America," she called.
There are bridges, bridges in the sky. They are shining in the sun. They are stone and steel and wood and wire. They can turn two things to one. They are languages and letters. They are poetry and all. They are love and understanding, and they're better than a wall. They are languages and letters. They are poetry and all. They are love and understanding, and they're better than a wall. There are canyons, there are canyons. They are yawning in the night. They are rank and bitter anger. They are all devoid of light. They are fear and blind suspicion. They are apathy and pride. They are dark and so foreboding, and they're oh so very wide. They are fear and blind suspicion. They are apathy and pride. They are dark and so foreboding, and they're oh so very wide. Let us build a bridge of music. Let us cross it with a song. Let us span another canyon. Let us right another wrong. And if someone should ask us where we're off and bound today, we will tell them building bridges and be off and on our way. And if someone should ask us where we're off and bound today, we will tell them building bridges and be off and on our way. We will tell them building bridges
As Unitarian Universalists, we believe that it's important to take care of each other. When we care for each other, our connections to each other become stronger. The interconnectedness of us all is part of our seventh principle. Sharing good times and bad times helps us to be more caring people, and being caring people is one way we are UUs every day. So I invited the children of UUFW to share some of their joys.
I'm happy about I'm happy about my mom because she let me play games.
A joy in my life is 3-day weekends.
The joy in my life is being able to be at home.
Playing with my friends.
I'm happy about having cooking club with my friends because it's really something I enjoy, and making syrup is also fun. Chernobyl.
Star, what other joys do you have in your life right now?
Well, just me. I love to be with my family.
Good girl.
Swinging on the swings at school.
Star, what's the joy in your life right now?
The joy in my life is that I got a very good treat earlier today for being such a good girl. Yeah.
So, these are my 2 favorite squishies. And although if you watch this video, your eyes will pop out as you see these ginormous pillow squishies. Compared to this one, it's way smaller. And that makes me as happy as you. And also, my family makes me overjoyed. I'm happy about doing cooking club with Leah.
And I also invited them to share some of their concerns, because sharing joys and concerns is a way that we can all stay connected to each other and help each other.
When somebody doesn't pay attention to me, it makes me feel sad. I'm sad about a lot of people not doing stuff for me. I'm sad about my grand's dog dying. I'm sad about my kitten scratch.
A sorrow in my life is Fridays.
The sorrow in my life is schoolwork and not having enough schoolwork.
When somebody calls me names.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, sons of great vision, sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, builders of nations, seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, sons of great vision, sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, builders of nations, seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one.
So, we are eager to help, and we want to know how we can all contribute to a successful settlement of a family or a group in our community. So, it seems like our most immediate need is, and challenging task, I will have to say, is to find rental housing with 3 or 4 bedrooms. We need everyone to be looking for possibilities and letting Laura Riggin know if you come up with a lead for housing, and we'll follow up on it. And we need to furnish the house or the apartment. And the IRC has that very helpful list that you mentioned, and you've added things to that list. You've made kind of a wish list on Amazon,
Yes.
I believe. And that's also so helpful, Melissa. And I think we want to mention that bedding and towels have to be brand new.
Yes.
But all other things can be used in good condition and clean, and that will be fine. So I'm sure we can help with that. We want to be intentional about gathering the items for the furnishing so that we have what we need and not too much that's going to be a problem storing of things we don't need. So it's Cynthia Thompson of our congregation who's going to be working with that. She'll be the lead on that, can help you out. And when I asked you a little earlier what would be the most helpful to children, do you remember what you said? It wasn't, oh, please load them up with toys. What was it?
Well, the most important thing for the children is for their families to have homes so that they can go to school and so that their parents are settled. I mean, if you can try to imagine the stress of caring for a large family in a hotel for 4 months when you'd been on a military base, basically in a tent for 6 weeks before that. Just the amount of stress that's in that family to be settled into a home. And I've seen the relief wash over the faces of the parents when they are settled, and you see the children adjusting so well. And obviously going to school is very important and helpful. And the house is the step towards that. And their parents getting jobs and driver's license, all of that is helping the children.
When the parents are feeling confident,
yes,
safe and secure, the whole family feels well, and that's what we're aiming for. You mentioned there's some activities at the YMCA in Waynesboro, and I wonder if there's any way we can be helpful with that.
Yeah, so this is the one way where non-cleared volunteers who aren't part of a home team that haven't been cleared by the IRC can help in person. So the YMCA has given us time 12 to 3 on Tuesdays. They have art therapy at 1:30. So there's this window. We usually don't get there till 12:30. So there's this window between 12:30 and 1:30 where we're trying to entertain the children, and we have this open gym, and they open up the closet and let us use all the supplies. So there's pickleball and basketball and soccer. You know, there's endless possibilities, but it can be difficult to keep them active and entertained, and you know they need it. Like, it's so rare for them to have this giant open space where they're allowed to play in this big way. So it's a really important opportunity, and we could use more people that want to get in there and help kids play.
That's on Tuesdays, 12 to 1:30, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's keep that in mind. And what are some of the other successful activities you've had for the children?
So the Springdale Mennonite Church did a biking activity just in their church parking lot. They also have a playground at their church. So people who were cleared went and picked up the refugees and brought them. And they have one gentleman in their church that repairs bicycles. So he brought a whole trailer full of bicycles and helmets. And the adults rode bikes and the kids rode bikes. He even had a ramp. And then my church did just a craft and indoor game activity. Like, we have a ping pong table, and they brought scooters that they could ride. We have a gym in our church, and that went really well. And then we have things set up. We have a woman who goes to the hotel at a certain day, a certain time, and swims in the pool with them. And we have the Springdale Mennonite Church goes on a certain morning and plays games with the kids in the lobby. Like card games and board games, and that's been really successful too.
Great. And our children, how can they be welcoming the children who have come here from Afghanistan?
Yeah, so I think if they are aware of them and looking for them in their schools, because they are starting schools, that would be a huge boon. That's a really brave thing for these children to do, to enter into these schools.
And that is both Stanton and Waynesboro.
Yes.
There's a large extended family in Stanton.
Yes.
I know they have a child who's started school also.
And if they do have an activity where they interact with the children, I drag my children around with me to everything, and they've played with our Afghan friends a lot, and they're very receptive to that. They definitely want to play. There have been some children who were very shy and needed a long time to warm up, but you just keep trying. So just playing with them and speaking English to them and not being frustrated that they're speaking Dari back to you is helpful for children to do.
Okay, good. Before we close, Melissa, is there anything else you'd like to mention that you think would be helpful to us, encouraging to us, as we go about this wonderful opportunity to welcome new people to our area?
Well, I think just my own experience, my lived experience, that this is just an absolute joy. And they thank me all the time. They're always thanking me, and I say, it's been a joy in my life. It's been it is a blessing in my life to be associating with you and helping you.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you so much for coming here and talking with us today, but also for what you are doing in the community. You all are our role models, our heroes. I call her St. Melissa, forgive me. But I think it's just really extraordinary the way you've all reached out, and we feel fortunate that you've led the way, because it's going to be so helpful to us as we try to follow you and do as good a job as you have. It's really important, we think, and a real privilege to be able to welcome these folks.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sylvia.
What are some ways that we can show new people in our community that they are welcome here?
Playing with them.
I might invite them to my breakfast or
Over at your house?
Yeah, over at my house.
Oh, that's nice.
I would ask them to be I would ask them if they would like to be a friend. I would say that they were welcomed to stay in a hotel or at someone's house that would let them, and they might taste like strange food, so they could try to go to a restaurant that had the food that they had.
Well, if somebody came into a new kid came into my class, I would just say hello and introduce myself. Nothing really.
I let them enjoy playing with stuff that's not theirs. I could play with them with a game. I like to have friends and share the toys and play instruments with everyone.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue port home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry seas, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song.
Hello, I'm Mary Beth Nolde, and here is my husband, Wayne Nolde. And we are members of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Waynesboro. I am the current worship arts team leader, and Wayne is the buildings and ground team leader. We were asked to respond to the question, is attending and supporting UUFW worthwhile? Is it worth our time and financial support? A very short time after we began to attend UUFW, I had an accident that resulted in a severe broken ankle that required surgery and 12 weeks of non-weight bearing as a result. To say it limited my movements is an understatement, though I was able to get around some with the use of a scooter that I pushed with the good leg while the injured leg was bent on the scooter itself. That was not fun. We had not officially joined UUFW, but had filled out the paperwork as visitors and had been attending and getting to know people for a short time we had been going. In addition to a welcome visit at the hospital the day of the surgery from the minister we'd only met a few weeks before, a member of the Caring Network called us before and after the surgery asking what was needed from them as assistance. When I said evening meals and transportation to doctor's appointments and eventual physical therapy, we were joyfully given an abundance of food, good wishes, cards and notes to me, and transportation when I needed it from people who were still really strangers. The feelings of being in a caring faith community were wonderful and unexpected for such new visitors to the fellowship. And we were so grateful for the support during a difficult time. These feelings have not lessened over the many years we have now been members. I cannot imagine being in any other faith community, nor can I imagine not having their support, the support of the caring members. Is supporting UUFW with time and money worthwhile? I can only say a resounding yes. Without the support of UUFW, my and our experience so many years ago would have been much more difficult. Send in your pledge today. This faith community that supported me during this time needs our support now.
I'd like to echo Mary Beth's comments and say that this support from our Caring Network was just something we'd never experienced and something we continue to remember. The caregivers not only kept in touch with us between bringing meals, but they also took the time to visit when they brought meals. So it wasn't just a task that they were accomplishing. They got to know us better. We got to know them better. And that sense of community has been what has kept us at UU ever since.
Thank you for your time.
For our closing words, I will be reading Refuge by Amy Carol Webb. How often we seek refuge in this sacred flame from the world's troubles and pain. Today, may our lamp light the way for those who know no refuge, that we may open our minds, our arms, our hearts, our mouths to sing. Come, whoever you are, wholly new and wholly true.